KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson, gold sponsor of the 2018 Micro Games in Yap. The all-new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Straight ahead on your primetime news, the results are in after an autopsy was performed on the pair killed in Wednesday's serious car crash in Sinanya. Plus, the curious case of Amanda Bloss continues as Chris Barnett has the latest on the complaint filed with the Civil Service Commission. And also tonight, what's it going to cost for the hospital's electrical panel? Nestor Lecanto's got a story on GMH's ongoing financial woes. And with that, we welcome our viewers all over the world on KUAM TV8 and streaming on Facebook half a day. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And we are going to lead off this broadcast with the very latest information in the crash investigation that left 2 local Guamanians dead. Both drivers killed in Wednesday's fatal car crash in Sinanya died as a result of crushed chests and broken backs.
This, according to the chief medical examiner who performed the autopsies today. 52-year-old Jose Bloss was behind the wheel of a GTA van and 78-year-old Edward Eclavea operating a Hyundai Santa Fe when they collided. Bloss worked in the engineering department at GTA. He had been with the company for over 3 decades. Eclavea, a resident of Sinahanya, was a member of the village's municipal planning council. Their manner of death was ruled accidental. This defendant's father may have hurt his chances of release. Accused killer Jonathan Ross Pangilinan appeared in court today. According to the prosecution, the victim's mother had received an email from the defendant's father. Pangilinan's father apparently apologized for his son's actions, but also reportedly said he would fly his son to California. Earlier this year, Pangilinan was arrested and charged with murdering his co-worker, Libric Manglotnya. The pair got into a fight after a Mes Chamorro celebration at AK Toyota. The fight, which was caught on surveillance footage, ended with Manglotnya on the pavement, beaten to death. Defense assured the court that Pangilinan wouldn't make a run for it. The court has taken the motion under advisement. Bail is still set for $100,000.
Elsewhere on Island tonight, they're supposed to be defending their client, but come next week, they'll be defending themselves. Attorneys John Ramos and Roland Matanonia could be held for contempt of court as they represent Department of Corrections Jeff Limo. The former head of Internal Affairs has been charged with a dozen others in a scheme to smuggle contraband into prison. At issue is the firm evidently attaching grand jury transcripts in a motion filed with the court, contents of which were published in a news article. Now, it is public knowledge that grand jury transcripts are confidential. Everybody knows this. A gag order has since been issued to all parties not to disseminate or release information from this document. They must appear on the 18th for an order to show cause. That hearing is at 8:30 in the morning.
A week after saying she doesn't have to resign to run for senator, candidate Amanda Bloss is now doing a 180 and leaving her post as executive director of the Commission on Decolonization.
But what does that mean exactly for the Mini Hatch Act complaint filed against her? And will she return to Adelup anytime soon? Chris Barnett explains in our next story.
The curious case of Amanda Bloss continues. The Republican senatorial candidate made headlines after KUAM News reports questioned whether or not she should have resigned when she filed her official candidacy for senator. The Civil Service Commission said yes. Bloss and the governor said no. The governor standing by his opinion that Bloss was a special assistant, even though she was listed as an executive director of the Commission on Decolonization on Adelup staffing patterns, and she signed off on financial disclosures as an executive director.
I am a special assistant.
Special assistants to the governor, by law, are allowed to do that. She has all the ability to run for office.
Special assistant, executive director. The 2 different titles didn't add up. In fact, when KUAM News obtained Bloss's personnel files, the only thing that added up was the pay raise Bloss got when she resigned as a staff assistant in 2017. Her salary jumped from $45,000 a year to over $82,000 a year when she was hired, in black and white, as executive director of the Commission on Decolonization. Long story short, Bloss should have quit her job when she filed her candidacy for senator on June 22nd. Other senatorial candidates and at least one lieutenant governor candidate had to resign from their GovGuam jobs to run for political office. Now, KUAM News has learned it appears Bloss has suddenly seen the light. We were able to obtain an email Blas sent to Commission on Decolonization members saying she gave the Gov her resignation letter on July 6th, just a couple days after our stories aired. Blas saying her last day as an executive director will be on July 23rd.
Amanda did come to me and advised that she felt that was in the best interest for all involved, including focusing on the key issues affecting our government, that she stepped down.
But what about the complaint filed against her? By the time her last day at Adelup rolls around, Blas will have been a senatorial candidate for a month, holding down a job she should have had to quit the minute she became a candidate. A glaring violation of Guam law.
If she's no longer working for the government, the issue is almost moot. Well, actually, it is moot because the only action we could have taken would have been a suspension.
The CSC hasn't even been able to get Blas's personnel files or resignation letter yet. But Calvo says when they do, it'll be presented to the Civil Service Commission board, but by that time, it may be too little, too late.
The commission may decide, well, we don't want to move forward with this. It's not relevant anymore. What more can we do?
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Well, Chris also adds that Amanda Blas told him she has no intention of returning to Adelup.
He apologized more than 20 times during our interview with KUAM on Wednesday, but he also made it clear his reasons for grabbing an officer's gun was because of his role to oversee public safety on Guam. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio repeatedly made sure to let us know he's the man.
As the overseer of public safety, my responsibility professionally is the overseer of public safety. As the overseer of public safety, I'm part of the public safety system.
It's a role that Governor Eddie Calvo designated him to undertake after he and Tenorio won the election in 2010. And now more than ever, the LT has shown it's a position he takes seriously.
Public safety is always the underlying reason for doing what I've always done in the government of Guam.
But the overseer of public safety has admitted to media he doesn't have a firearms ID, which according to Guam law, in order to own, possess, use, or carry, you must have one. It also means at the Guam Barbecue Block Party, he didn't when he grabbed a police officer's gun from a holster because he thought it was unsecured. All this in the name of public safety and after drinking 2 or 3 beers.
I see in something that I feel is jeopardy for the officer or the safety of the people. I'd rather take an action than wait for something to be done and then someone get hurt. As a police officer, my intentions previously and now as instructor in the academy and now as the overseer of public safety, my interest is only the public safety. And I think the officers know that, and I'm not above the law.
As reported, because the complaint was officially filed with the Guam Police Department, the agency submitted its preliminary findings and the complaint to the AG's office, which in turn confirmed its criminal division was conducting an investigation. Among the many charges listed in an attachment to the complaint filed by Troy Torres was the fact that the lieutenant governor did not possess a firearms ID. Although Governor Eddie Calvo expressed his disappointment with Tenorio's conduct at the block party, we asked, however, should the designated overseer of public safety accused of overstepping the law step down?
No, I don't. I think you should let things run their course, and they are. At the same time, we understand that this is a heated political season, and there's enough falsehoods coming to our administration from varying sources that, we don't need to step on our own feet. So I talked to the lieutenant governor about it, and again, he was contrite, but as he works towards continuing on his campaign for the governorship, we also have, we have a little bit less than half a year left in my administration, and we gotta keep our eyes on the ball and ensure that we get the work done for the people of Guam.
It's the same game plan for the lieutenant governor, despite fumbling that ball on Saturday.
This is not about the election. This is about me, Ray Tenorio, owning up. When we do something wrong, when we do something right, we should take credit either way. This is fully my responsibility, and I own up to it.
But is it too late to apologize? That we'll have to wait and see after the criminal investigation is concluded. We should note that the attachment to the complaint filed by Torres listed the charges of a lack of firearms ID and assault on a police officer. Those two specific charges, however, were not included in GPD's press release, which only stated that there was a complaint filed against the lieutenant governor, alleging public intoxication, reckless conduct, disorderly conduct, and official misconduct.
All right, everybody. Your public sector, different branch of government as reckless or responsible is how Speaker B.J. Cruz describes the pair of dueling budgets he plans to present for the next fiscal period. He says the responsible spending plan would be a balanced approach of cutting costs and raising revenue by increasing the business privilege tax to 5.5%. The reckless strategy, says Cruz, would be to simply cut approximately $145 million in spending, which he says will force the end of basic services in education, health, and safety. By way of a statement, the Appropriations Committee chairman says, quote, "We have two options. We can make responsible choices knowing they're unpopular, or we can make popular choices knowing they're irresponsible." Public hearings on the budget proposals are set for Thursday, the 19th at 2 and 6. Copies are available at ofbguam.org.
$1,700 or $6 million. Those are the two separate repair assessments for the hospital's electrical panel. GMH says a loss of power due to a panel failure would risk patients' lives. But the question from senators is, how much do you need to pay to fix it? Nestor Lecanto has more on the dollars and cents.
How much? $1,747.73, according to a final report sent to Hospital Administrator Peter John Camacho by GPA General Manager John Beneventi on Tuesday. GMH had sought the Power Authority's recommendation on the more than 40-year-old main electrical panel, and GPA concludes, among other things, that it does not appear to be in danger of immediate failure. But it did have a few recommendations to continue safe operations, like wiping down the equipment and removing all dust or covering and sealing exposed, unused conduits. GPA says it'll even come up with an emergency response plan for any future issues with the main panel. A day later, GMH issued a statement saying it wanted to clarify media reports about the panel. It said prudent practice and standards require preparedness for emergencies, and the panel is 43 years old, almost 3 times its economic life. GMH says it discussed a possible power failure as part of a tabletop exercise last month, and says the threats are real and require planning, especially as it goes through self-assessment to meet the requirements of the Medicaid and Medicare programs. GMH also released a recommendation from electrical engineering contractor EMCE to replace and remove the panel. The company says a hospital's loss of electrical power can result in devastating consequences. It says Band-Aid fixes since the mid-90s have made replacement of the panel a necessity. EMCE also listed a series of critical concerns with the panel. It concludes that the replacement of the main panel will address the hospital's master plan, increase reliability, and eliminate the imminent danger that can be life-threatening for patients. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
All right, thank you so much, Nestor. There is a lot more island news to get to, so please sit tight, everybody. And if you're watching us on Facebook, add a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the news, because we're back right after this.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy. To the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
When I was much younger, my dad told me, never forget where you come from. As a nurse, lawmaker, and a banker, I have seen the struggles that our people face. Inadequate health care, outdated government regulations, crushing government debt, the rising cost of living, record crime rates, and an economy that is fragile. All of these things affect us in a very real and personal way, and you have shared your hopes, your fears, and your disappointments. Democrats on Guam have championed policies that enable people to reach their potential. Together, we can truly make a change, restoring faith in our future. It's time for change we can trust.
I'm Lilian Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Chuck E. Cheese's Guam just got a whole lot funner. Chuck E. Cheese and Helen are excited to welcome friends Pasquale and Jasper to Guam. Join us on Friday, July 13th at 6 p.m. for a great welcome party. Food and token specials all night long. Be part of the party at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
Summer is here, and at Cars Plus and Meiji, that means big savings during our summer clearance event. Right now, save up to $8,000 on select 2018 Ram 1500 SLT Crew Cab, or save $3,250 on a 2018 Chrysler Pacifica, voted Family Car of the Year. 1.99 APR financing is available for qualified buyers. Plus, buy today and receive a Cars Plus value card, where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Don't miss our summer clearance event going on now at Cars Plus and Meiji. Cars Plus, driven by you.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. Some disturbing news about a popular eatery as crawly critters living in the 198 Dim Sum, a restaurant at the Micronesia Mall food court, have forced public health to shut the establishment down. Public health inspectors found 57 total demerits, resulting in a grade of D. Multiple live cockroaches were observed in the kitchen. Egg casings, frass, and dead cockroaches were also found throughout the facility. About a year ago, the vendor was among more than a handful of others at the same food court shut down for similar violations. We've got the list of those. You can find those on KUAM.com right now.
Well, it is the last of a Japanese snack turned local favorite. This after Meiji announces they're ending production of the cheese-flavored chip many have come to love.
The snack is already hard to find in local stores, as Carmen Tulahi explains in our next report.
You might remember the taste of Meiji's Carl Cheese Puffs. Now local supermarkets like Payless confirm they're no longer carrying the green bags.
The stores took it upon themselves and took pallets of it to last as long as it can hold, into the markets. Well, in the last 3 months, I think our stores alone almost took a container and it's depleted.
It was a childhood favorite, says Bernie Onadera, the operations manager of Payless Supermarkets, who tells us they found out 3 months ago that the manufacturer from Japan made the decision to discontinue production. The reason?
To what I heard, it's because it didn't do as well in Japan as it did here.
As you can see, Meiji chips literally flew off the shelves, the taste loved by many here on Guam.
I love the chips. Like I said, you don't even realize that you finished the whole bag. Guam is where I learned it as well. I was in Japan, but I didn't really see it out there, not like here.
Onadera says it is possible that another company could try to replicate the taste, but no word yet if we'll ever see the signature Meiji green bags back on the shelf. Reporting for Guam News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Turlaki.
Thanks, Carmen. Not calling it quits just yet. Ukadu High School's Marine Corps JROTC program's probation was extended after officials were told the program didn't meet requirements such as not having 2 Marine ROTC instructors and not meeting basic mission readiness. Superintendent John Fernandez says with the help of Congresswoman Madeline Berdallo, they were able to lobby for a second chance.
I think the problem for us is that the Marine buildup that's going to happen on Guam, the whole island's been preparing for this. There's been a lot of investment. It can't be the case that the only Marine, junior ROTC program is going to be disestablished at the same time. So we felt that we deserved extra consideration. We wanted an extra opportunity to try to fill these requirements.
DOE is now hiring 2 new instructors to meet the minimum requirements after the former Ukadu ROTC instructor retired. Fernandez says one of the challenges is retention. Meantime, as part of cost-cutting measures, the teachers will be hired as unclassified employees.
Better than $15.5 million has been awarded to Guam students with developmental disabilities. Congresswoman Madeline Burdado announced the award from the U.S. Department of Education as the federal funding will help its local counterpart agency provide necessary in-school services and accommodations for students with developmental disabilities, including those with learning disabilities. The money will also support infants and toddlers with developmental disabilities as well as their families.
Projections of major budget loss prompts the Guam Education Board to call for a special meeting. Superintendent John Fernandez says the board will discuss BBMR's projections of FY19's budget. According to that projection, the department would receive $65 million less than the last fiscal year. Fernandez says the cuts will be drastic if senators don't find money to fund education. DOE officials will meet at Teads headquarters Friday afternoon.
And also tonight, officials broke ground on a new $128,000 renovation of the heavily used Sinanya baseball field. It was actually a double celebration for the Central Village as they also welcomed the completion of the repaving of Palikirnan Hickey Drive, one of the main thoroughfares there. Now, prior to the ceremony, Village Mayor Robert Hoffman called for a moment of silence to grieve the death of Eddie Eclavea, a longtime resident of Sinanya who was active in village events. The 78-year-old man was killed in the two-car collision we were telling you about earlier in the broadcast. That happened Wednesday on Route 4 in South.
Stay tuned. Sports is coming up next, but first, here's weather.
Introducing the Alpha Plus app. With the rewards feature, you can earn points and get free rewards. Filing insurance claims gets no easier, as you can receive feedback within 24 hours. Easily check your insurance balance and insurance policy with the My Policy feature. So download the all-new Alpha Plus app on Google Play or the App Store. Alpha Plus, make every day a plus.
Celebrating our 135th anniversary today, both in the outlying regions on which we hub and also here in Guam itself. It means so much to our team here in Guam. It means a lot to us in the Matson management team because what it says is we're here to stay. It's a real physical manifestation of our commitment to this region. It's so important that we hire locally, we develop talent locally, we train locally. What's been a wonderful addition to our approach there is that many of the people who started off in Guam have gone off into significant leadership roles elsewhere in the company.
This is our headquarters here in Guam in Micronesia. And when we talk about putting down our roots, it's not just doing business, it's about everything we do with our friends, our customers, and our employees. I believe that nobody can replicate what we do, and that's why we have such a great team and such a great service and why we're successful. This is our home, this is our life, and we're happy to make a difference in everyone else's life.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports, brought to you by Triple J. We get you started tonight with a look at our men's national volleyball team as they look to defend their gold medal at this year's Micro Games in Yap. Check it out. Guam's men's national volleyball team has been Micro Games gold medalists for the last 4 games. Team Guam heads to Yap with a bullseye on their backs, and the team the rest of Micronesia is looking to beat. In 2014, Guam defeated host country Pohnpei in 3 sets for the gold medal.
We're not going to settle for anything less. Our path to get gold, of course, is not easy. Workouts, diets, you know what I mean? Sacrifices with our daily lives. And yeah, man, we got to be hungry.
Tristan Tapia and Derek Wall lead this year's team filled with new faces to the games. Coach Mike Robigo says players like Louis Mesgen and Devin Malawelmang will be big factors at the outside hitter position. Guam will have to adjust their normal style of play on island to the competition in Yap.
You always have to be on your toes and be alert because they like to tip, put it this way. You know, we're used to fast hitters, high hitters, and big blocks, and they actually are smart against that, and they would tip a lot, and so we have to just counter that.
There are currently 4 men on the roster who play at the collegiate level. 6 players returned from the 2015 Pacific Games roster, where Guam finished 6th, 3 from the last Micro Games. With the veteran leadership keeping the first-timers focused on the task at hand, Team Guam looks promising at defending their gold medal.
With half the traveling team being from different, like just coming from different schools, different places, coming together, it really helped us just be able to connect quickly, communicate with each other, and just do what we have to do to make sure we're all on the same page and playing to the best of our abilities.
Yap and Palau are the 2 teams Guam will be keeping a close eye on. Word on the street is Palau has been traveling and getting in court time against top competition. Yap has hired a professional coach to help their men's team hold it down on their home turf.
It's an honor to be playing with Guam's flag on my chest and Guam's name on my chest. And I think the same thing can be said with everybody here because we are all homegrown and we want to play to the best of our abilities and represent our island well.
Free Kids Fishing Derby this Saturday at the War in the Pacific National Park in Assen. Make sure to register before noon Friday to get out there and compete for some prizes. Categories include longest fish, longest triggerfish, and most fish caught. For more information, call the Department of Agriculture at 735-0281, 0289, or 0294.
Yeah, if you would like to register for the Derby, we're still taking registrations up until noon on Friday. You can come to the Department of Agriculture, bring proof of age of the participant. Again, it's ages 7 to 12. On the day of the Derby, you have to bring a fishing pole, and we like to ask bring some sort of sun protection, you know, a hat or a shirt or sunblock, and stay hydrated. We will have a lot of drinks and food there for the kids to stay hydrated and stay fed, but make sure you stay hydrated while you're fishing.
Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
Let's welcome the first-time parents, the people with the dream to be their own boss. Let's welcome the things that inspire us, connect us. Let's welcome the college graduations, new beginnings, and happy ever afters. At Bank of Hawaii, we'd like to welcome you to all the new adventures, the next chapters, and all the great things you have to look forward to. Welcome to tomorrow. Bank of Hawaii.
Every time I travel, there's something from home that I can't leave without. I take my DoCoMo Pacific data to go to share my stories in Taiwan, check subway routes in Tokyo, be my food guide in Hong Kong, meet new friends in the Philippines, make updates in the States, find my way around Korea, and check out all the cool shows in Singapore. It's the data I have in all the places I love for only $10 a day. Data to go from DoCoMo Pacific. Better together.
When you purchase a vehicle from our dealerships,
We give back to the American Cancer Society and Guam Cancer Care. With your help, together, we've raised over $400,000, giving local cancer patients a gift of more anniversaries, more birthdays, more years, more days. Together, we're giving them the gift of time. Triple J, customers first.
All right, everybody, we got some birthday shout-outs to get to. Here are tonight's Cold Stone Creamery, the newest members of the club. Get out your party hats and get ready to surprise today's birthday babies. They are led off by Lori Ann Breton Castro, coming from her husband Juanito and children. This is from Norman, Annie, and Juanito Jr., also from your familia in Pocket. They just want to say happy birthday with many more years to come. They love you and they hope you enjoyed your very special day. All right, Lori. And to our very own Len Ramirez, the man in the front, the man who makes everything happen. Happy birthday, Len, from all of us at KUAM. Hope everybody on today had a great birthday. Okay, by this point in the game, everybody knows the deal. Just go to KUAM.com, register, and you too can be part of the club. I love Thursdays because that means In the Mix is ready. I'm going to go start watching. You tell the people what's coming up.
All right. Coming up next on In the Mix, we have an up-close and personal interview with Bear Kitigwa. He is from Show Your Roll.
I just saw it. It's cool. It's really awesome.
That and a whole lot more coming up next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E.